Hello everyone and welcome to our third webcast. My name is Rick Strom, Office Administrator here at Cherokee Broadband, and welcome back. Hopefully we're getting some good reviews. I noticed a lot of people taking a look at it over the weekend from our first two webcasts. So something again new here at Cherokee Broadband, we're going to start doing a weekly webcast, bringing you information about Cherokee Broadband, or in some cases like today, we're going to talk about new technologies that are out there. The biggest one, Apple releasing or pre-ordering the iPhone X starting this Friday, 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be a high price tag, $999 starting out. So let's dive right in and see what this new iPhone X is all about, and we'll also hear some of the reviews that are coming out right now, some of the rumors, and also we will put it up against the iPhone 8 Plus, which is their other new phone that's coming out. And let's just dive right in without any further ado. Let's take a look at the iPhone X. All right, let's take a look. This is my screen over here. Just going to apple.com, iPhone X. You can actually just search iPhone X and you can find all of these links. But for those of you that haven't done that, let's talk a little bit about what the iPhone X is. And it has a nice fancy little website. We'll scroll in here, and there it is. That is Apple's new flagship, the iPhone X. You can see right away that things have changed. It's a screen-to-screen display and a lack of home button here on the bottom, and Touch ID, which was your fingerprint ID. Everything now is going to be, and they'll show it here in a minute, is going to be facial recognition. So that's how you're going to unlock your phone, which is very cool. This was Apple's design from the beginning. I mean, this is back when Steve Jobs first said that he's looking forward to one day having an iPhone that is screen to screen. So they're finally doing that, but this does come with a very hefty price tag, and we'll talk about that here in a second as well. So scrolling down, you know, this is their vision, was to have an iPhone that's all one screen. Pre-order again is going to be this Friday. It's all in the screen, they say. Beautiful. I mean, that is very beautiful. See how that, you just look at it and it'll show you here in a second how that worked. So there's no finger ID anymore. So it's all on a 5.8-inch Super Retina that fills the hand and dazzles the eye. Well, that's a little sugar coating, but it is a pretty phone. Basically all your volume, your toggle for silent is still the same over here. And here's the screen. Beautiful. It's the first OLED screen that rises to the standards of the iPhone. So you have a 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio. True blacks as well. So, you know, the iPhone has always gotten progressively better with the camera. A lot of people don't have professional cameras. A lot of people take photos straight from their phones, and that has become the norm. I know I do it a lot. It's just handy, it's there. So anything that is a better camera is pretty cool. Okay, so you're going to have the Face ID that I talked about. That's the tiny space here at the top that's going to house that. And a true depth camera. And we'll talk about that. It's going to be water resistant and water and dust resistant, actually. Here is how you do it. Everything is a swipe up. And we'll replay that. A swipe up takes you back to the home screen instead of having to click the circle home button. So it's just a natural gesture. So this is the facial recognition that we were talking about. We'll go over this real quick. It's going to take and analyze, I believe, over 30,000. And let's see. So your Face ID is now your password. So here you go. So it's going to do 30,000 invisible dots to create a precise depth map of your face. So that's pretty cool. Instead of having to do the thumbprint, you're going to do this rotation of the head, which also looks very relaxing. Anyway, I'm surprised they didn't talk about something as a stress relief to be able to do that. Face ID will also be able to do your Apple Pay. Not a lot of people have experienced that. Vendors, especially here in the mountains of North Carolina, very limited on that, but that is something that you can do with it. Front-facing camera, you're going to be able to obviously be able to take good selfies. See where it blurs out the background on each of these photos, so that your primary face will be the focal point of the photo, which is nice. You're also going to have a studio that comes in this. I'm not sure if they call it a light studio. I guess it's portrait lighting is what this is called. So you can see what happens there. So that's your natural picture. You can do a little studio light, do some contour light. Quick touches, I guess that would be good for. It doesn't look anything amazing. Now they are selling this as an Animoji. There'll be 12 Animojis that you can do. I know some are the panda, the pig, the robot, and it will actually map your face. So a lot of people are big into emojis, and this way, kind of interesting. I guess if you do that speech to text on a instant message, you can do an Animoji now. So that's pretty cool. Against 12 megapixel dual cameras, they're going after the photography, deeper pixels, telephoto camera. Also heard here, if we come down, you're going to be able to control the aperture, I believe, so we can do those good waterfall pictures where everything looks pretty cool. It's going to have the A11 Bionic chip in there, and that is going to be the most powerful smart chip that's ever been put into a smartphone. Notice it doesn't just say Apple. Into a smartphone. It's capable of handling 600 billion operations per second. So if you can max that out, you guys are doing a lot more than I can do on a phone. It's also going to allow the CPU to run up at 70% faster than the A10 Fusion that was in the iPhone 7s. And performance 25% faster, so you should be able to see pretty good. Facial ID lets you adapt to physical changes, so if you're wearing any of this stuff, it's still going to recognize your face. That's pretty cool. So I mean, we change over time. So okay, so that they're going to keep talking about the specs. They're going to have some augmented reality games. This is where you're going to be able to put stuff into like your real world. I heard that that's going to be pretty good. And wireless charging. They're bringing wireless charging to the iPhone, so that's cool. And I think they're gonna sell their charging pad, but I'm pretty sure Belkin will be able to sell it cheaper. So that is it in a nutshell. I think that is it looks pretty cool. Is it worth the $999 asking price? We shall see. But moving on now, this is exciting. You know, all this good stuff. Again, pre-order will be midnight Pacific Coast or Pacific Standard Time on Friday and 3 a.m. on the East Coast. For anybody that wants to get up that early, they are supposed to sell out very fast. Just again, Googling iPhone X, came up with The Verge, and they're talking about Apple IDs, the Face ID struggles. And the new iPhone X, apparently, instead of we're not sure yet what it's going to be, but, and this was the dots for opening your phone, all the little dots on your face. Apparently, we're not sure if it's going to do the 30,000 beams right off the start. And that might be something they fix come 2018, and maybe early adapters might not have the best facial ID as they might, but again, it's supposed to be superior again to the Touch ID, whereas the Face ID is 1,000,000 to 1 accuracy, and the Touch ID was 50,000 to 1. So anything over the 50,000 mark, I would imagine that Apple's not going to make a big deal out of it and say that, hey, it's better than what we had. But again, that's something to think about. And again, what's the difference between the iPhone X and the iPhone 8 Plus? Obviously, screen side to side. Now, the screen on the iPhone X is actually going to be smaller than the iPhone 8 Plus, but a lot cleaner. And you can see they have a home button here on the iPhone 8s, and you don't here on the iPhone X. So, and obviously the iPhone X is going to weigh less than the iPhone 8 Plus. Scrolling down here, basically what they're saying is the iPhone 8 beats it. The iPhone fails to beat the iPhone X. The iPhone X wins just about every test that they went up against. So, but this is something you can take a look at. It has a 5.8 inch true OLED. This is a 5.5, but also look at the pixels per inch at 458 compared to 401. So you're going to get a lot richer colors here with the iPhone X, and depth, most likely truer colors. Okay, so this is the iPhone. Let's see if I can go down here and see what the pricing of the iPhone X is going to be. Okay, here's a good spec here of the iPhone X. It's going to last 2 hours longer than the iPhone 7, and it's going to be more comparable to the iPhone 7 in size too. Right. So that is that. Let me see if I can Google anything else here about the iPhone. Okay, so you're going to have a couple of ways to get it. Obviously, here's what they're talking about. The iPhone X. Here's how to nab one if you simply cannot wait. And this is what they're talking about. The 64 gig is going to be $999. Don't stand in line, obviously. The phone will be in stores on November 3rd, but tech analysts say Apple has supply constraints, make it harder than usual to get a hold of the newest iPhone. So you don't want to camp out for hours or even days. Apple.com or the App Store. What color do you want? The choices are going to be space gray and silver. It's going to start at $999 for 64 gig and $1,149 with 256 gigs of storage. Youch! Or $49.91 a month. So it's going to be very expensive. So good luck trying to get one. I'm going to toss it back to myself. We'll wrap this one up, but just want to give you a little overview of what the iPhone X is. All right, everyone. Well, that was the iPhone X. I hope you found that enjoyable. We'll see. I think a few of them might be coming around Cherokee, the iPhone X early adapters, and if so, it would be great to see one in person. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments for our future shows, go to CherokeeBroadband.com. You can see it right there, CherokeeBroadband.com, where you can fill out your name, contact information, and any questions you'd like answered on the show. Guys, have a great, I would say, Halloween weekend, because Halloween falls this next week. And everybody stay safe and tune in for next week's webcast. We thank you and appreciate everybody for watching.